What's up everyone, Mandy here from On The Grow, and today I'm going to be giving you guys our first grow space tour that we have done since 200 subscribers. It seems like forever ago considering where we're at today. So the first thing we're going to cover is the outside of the grow space. In order to do this, I'm actually going to hand it over to CJ, and he's going to tell you guys a little bit about our beautiful grow space here.
So what we have here is a 8.5 foot by 20 foot cargo container. Essentially, this is the same kind of thing that you see a lot of people move like race cars in. There's people who have like lawn mowing businesses and things like that. They run out of these kind of utility trailers. That's what this is on the outside. Now we have done a lot of modifications to it to make it an actual grow space, because otherwise it would do a pretty poor job of it. So let's go ahead and talk about what we have on the outside. So the entire outside of this grow space is covered in a white aluminum. That is so that we can reflect as much of the Texas heat as that we possibly can. On the back, we have a drop down wall. So this entire back wall right here will actually drop completely down so that we can move a lot of the big equipment in and out of this grow space very easily. We can move the full racks in and out like that. And it's actually fun to do like at farmers markets or things like that. We can just drop down the whole back of this, and that way people can see what this grow space is like. And it's really fun to clean too in the springtime and stuff. Whenever it's nice and cool outside, just drop it open, let that breeze through as we clean. Right here you can see actually where we had our first accident with the grow space, and it was pulling it into this spot over here. We had, whenever we bought this house, we had a really tight squeeze between two fences. I mean, the margin was like, it was just tiny on both sides, and we just happened to barely catch it. So we still need to get that fixed. This thing's got, so it's got 4 tires on it. We got 2 on this side and 2 on the additional side. So what else we have is we have our power to this grow space. This is a 220 line that actually powers the entire grow space. That's what powers the AC units, the lights, the fans, everything that we have in there, such as our pumps, water heaters, and all of that is powered by this single 220 line. And we have this run from our main line at our house. Additionally, on the front of this, we just have some more stuff for just kind of moving this thing around. It helps with protection. And this is, of course, like again, I said, a trailer. So I can hook this to my truck, and I'm able to pull this grow space anywhere I want. And so long as I have a power source that is 220, I'm able to power this thing wherever I go. So that's about it for the outside. It is a V-nose trailer. But let's go ahead and jump into the inside. Right here we have a little bit, oh, actually there's one more quick thing. So we have stabilizers on the grow space, and the reason that we put these on is so that as we're walking on it, because it is on tires, what'll happen is it'll be very springy and it'll move the whole grow space around if we have no kind of stabilizers or anything. So we do have a stabilizer under each one of the corners, and that way as we're walking through the grow space, it's not like a bounce house. So that's really about it. You can see just a little bit of condensation dripping down here. That's actually from, and you can tell we need to wash our grow space. It's been raining like crazy over here. But this is actually from the AC unit dripping off the top. So throughout the year, we'll have just some water running down the top, especially throughout summer as this AC is just constantly running. It would be nice to figure out some kind of capture program instead of just wasting this water to maybe somehow use it in the garden or something like that. But you know, I just want to share that because I saw it real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Mandy do the inside tour. I'll see you guys later.
So now that CJ has gone over the outside of the trailer, let's go ahead and move on to the inside. So first, gotta unlock it. We always keep this thing locked because we have a lot of grow equipment. And our newest upgrade, we used to have a little chain here and it got really messy. You get stuck in your hair and we couldn't keep it open. So now we have this nice little guy up here which props our door open, and it has been perfect. So now that we are inside of our grow space, the first thing you're probably gonna notice is this sink station next to me. This is our main little area where we do a lot of our seeding and watering and cleaning our trays. And we have our little hand washing station where we only wash our hands. This is set up so that way we can take care of a lot of the things that we need to without getting it mixed into our actual grow space. Some other things that we have on this side of the room is our fan up here. This is our centrally located fan. The reason why we have this is so that way we can turn it on and off and create a vortex that goes through the center of the room, and then our fans on the shelves actually push it back the other way, and it keeps the air circulating in here. We also have our dehumidifier up here, which we have set and a little hose running through so that way it can automatically drain for us. We found that whenever you have a dehumidifier, if you have a way to set it up where it can automatically drain, it works a lot better because you don't have to keep on emptying it so often and risk potentially getting your grow space way too humid. Some other things that we have over here is our little sprayer, which you'll see us use this a lot in our videos. We can change it, and it really helps to be able to set something on the mist setting. It makes our lives a lot easier. We also have this expandable hose, so whenever it's drained, it will shrink up and it makes it less chaotic, I guess is the best way to put it, because you don't have a rubber hose that's hard to fight and just gets everywhere. What would that be called? This is our 50 amp breaker box, and then we also have our little board over here, and that's how we keep track of our videos, which if you notice, there's actually one on our list because we started some new videos today. So some other things that we have changed since the last time we did a grow space tour was there used to be this giant shelf here, and it was open and it was filled with all kinds of grow supplies. And to be honest, it got a little bit chaotic, especially for us because we were always in here. So we have now switched over to these, which, oh, they look so much better, right? Our seed area. Over here, we have all of our seeds, literally all of them, all nice and organized. So that way, whenever we're looking for certain seeds, we can find them quickly. And then we have our basic storage closet. This is where we keep a lot more of our nutrients and other supplies just nicely on the shelf and off of the ground. And if you'll notice on top, this is where we store all of our trays. Something we really encourage everyone to do is keep those trays off the ground, keep them high up in a sanitary area. So this is where we keep ours. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard for me to reach, but that's what step stools are for. Now we get to move into the fun part. So this is, so this area, some of you guys might be familiar with from all of our videos that we were doing. This is where all the action happens. It's where we grow our crops, this is where we do our experiments, and where we actually film these videos. We have this table here, and it's on casters. So that way, whenever we're not filming, we can move it out of our way and open up our aisle, which brings you over into this area. So over here, we have our two main grow racks. This one is currently empty because we are getting ready to fill it up with all kinds of new trays for new experiment videos. But this one is colorful and pretty, and look at all of those crops. We actually recently filled this one up to start preparing for more recipes for future books, and it looks beautiful right now. I think it's probably harvest day for these ones though. But what this shelf is, this is our light experiment rack. We have various lights on here, reaching from our blue ones all the way down to our white, pinks, and the yellows, which I'm not that good at explaining this. So we're gonna switch this over to CJ, and he can give you guys a better in-depth detail of this.
So we got some blue spectrum lights. These are in the higher spectrum, the higher Kelvin. Generally about 8,000, 10,000 K are gonna be your blue spectrums. We got some 6,500 K lights. These are a little bit more yellow, a little bit more daylight. Then we've got like our blurples, which are like the grow lights. Personally, I don't love blurples. They're really harsh on the eyes, but they do provide really great results. Then below that, we got some more like daylight spectrum ones. These are actually 5,000 K, and they have a lot more output than the ones above them. So they're just a little bit brighter. And then lastly, we got more like the yellow spectrum, like 4,500 K yellow, lower spectrum lights that are a little bit better for, in my opinion, like flowering, where it's a little bit more that red, yellow kind of spectrum versus the blue, which is a lot better, in my opinion, for growth and that vegetative state. We've also got some fans on these. These are the 120 millimeter fans that we always suggest to everybody to put on their little racks because it just does a great job of moving the heat that happens from a lot of these lights. It just kind of pushes that off the shelf, and it keeps that from kind of getting stagnant above the lights there. And then again, like Mandy explained, that fan in the front, what it does is it pushes air, like I could feel it right now, right here. It pushes it, and as soon as it kind of hits this wall, it does like a bit of a mushroom, and it goes back that way. And then what happens is these little fans that are on these racks are all pointed back that direction. So we're pulling the air this way and then shooting it back up to the front. And hopefully the idea is it creates a nice little vortex. It's a little bit different now that we have those solid containers over there that block the airflow a little bit, but for back here, it still does a really great job. So that's about it for right here. And this is again that back wall that I was talking about that completely drops down. So you guys will notice it's the same kind of material as the flooring that we have. And that is because it does act as a floor as well whenever we want to drop this down and we want to use this to pull these racks in and out, or if I feel like parking my car in here for some reason, I can always do that. But you know, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass this back to Mandy, who's gonna explain everything else to you guys. Once again, I will see you guys later.
CJ did a fantastic job explaining these lights in a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and move a little bit more into the walls. So the walls in here are also that reflective white aluminum walls. We wanted it so that way this lights from our shelves continues to bounce off and provide these beautiful microgreens with that ample lighting. On top of that, on our wall, you may be noticing our thermostat, which runs all the way up into our AC unit. This way we can really control this space, because in Texas it gets very, very hot and we need some way to combat that. Otherwise this entire grow space is going to be like a walking oven. Or I guess a driving oven would be more correct. On our walls you may notice these black tracks, and these are our E-tracks, which they have these little guys on them that we can unclip and move them around. Haven't done that in a while. This way it really helps us secure everything to the walls and creates it from being less chaotic in here whenever we're ready to move it. Oh, almost forgot. There's still one more thing. I had to look up for that one. So one more thing about this grow space is we also have that white aluminum going all the way onto our ceiling as well, where we have our LED lights. Now these lights are the ones that came with this grow space, and they've done a great job at helping us see in here, but I see us in the future probably changing these out for better lights. But for now, they are perfect. Another thing about this grow space is the walls and ceilings are all insulated. That way we can really keep in our temperature in here and keep that heat and everything outside of this. So I think we covered as much as we possibly could, but if you're curious about more details about our grow space and some of our findings throughout this process, we are gonna have this available in our ebook, Becoming a Microgreen Master, which is so close to being ready. Like literally guys, I think you guys should be seeing it in May, which is right around the corner, so look out for that. And be sure to go to our website, www.onthegrow.net, where you can find updates on the book status. How do we do our sign out? I forgot. Well, you guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and getting to see a little bit more of our grow space, especially where it's at nowadays, since it was an eternity since we did the last one. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. And we have a Facebook and an Instagram that are both at On The Grow Farms. Thank you guys so much, and keep on believing.